Carleton.
I want to congratulate the finance minister on her flip-flop today. She had said that deflation was a bigger risk to Canada than inflation. Now that Canada has the second highest inflation rate in the G7, higher than the Eurozone and higher than most of our competitors, and the second most housing inflation of any country on earth, she has admitted that we have, quote, an inflation crisis. Congratulations for finally waking up to that. Will she acknowledge that this inflation is in fact a homegrown problem?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I know that Canadians understand that inflation is a global phenomenon, and here are some numbers to back that up. Inflation in Canada in October was 4.7%. In the United States, it was 6.2%. In Mexico, 6.2%. In New Zealand, 4.9%. The G20 average is 4.6%. And the OECD average is 4.6. This is a serious global challenge, not a made-in-Canada problem.
Well, member for Carleton.
Let's just see about that. You know, land doesn't have a global supply chain. It was supplied by geological factors many millions of years ago. And yet, how land prices in Canada have gone up by 20% in 1 year, giving Canada the second highest real estate inflation on planet Earth, ahead of every other nation on Earth except for New Zealand. A phenomenon that really kicked off after this finance minister began flooding markets with cheap cash and ballooning prices. Isn't that a homegrown problem?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives may not want to listen to me about inflation, but I suspect they read the National Post. So let me quote what a Post columnist had to say this week. Inflation is a global phenomenon. It is being influenced by external factors like supply kinks and global bond yields. The National Post was likewise unimpressed by the antics of the member for Carleton, describing him as charging out of his corner arms windmilling. I suspect that will be the judgment of most Canadians, including the conservative readers of the National Post.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
Well, it would be impossible to listen to what she has to say about inflation because before today she hadn't even mentioned the word. She suggested that we would have deflation. And as for the claims of her liberal media friends, they are disproven by the facts that countries all over the world, including 5 of the other 6 G7 countries, have lower inflation than Canada.
That's right.
And every country on earth has less housing inflation than Canada, except one. So given that we're doing so much worse than our competitors, will she finally admit it's a homegrown problem?
That's right.